And we're live with another episode of the Weekly Mojo with your host, Madison Jessica.
That's
How are we this week?
I don't know. We're on week 10, which is crazy.
Yeah, 9/11 was Wednesday. I thought it was 21 years, and I wrote it in my newsletter.
Yeah, you
and
did. Oh wait, that's 23 years.
Uh-huh.
That's me
Yeah.
like I didn't even know. I saw you write it, and then I was like, yeah, okay. And then I was like, no, it's 2024. Holy shit,
Yeah.
That's
Right.
fucking nuts.
Let's get swifty with it, I guess.
Well, you were also on the road in Eastern Time Zone in Ohio, so that probably had to fuck up your time perspective, right?
Sure.
Michigan boy.
Yeah, like we can go with that. I was pleasantly surprised by Cleveland.
What were you doing there?
I was at MyCon, which is the Marketing AI conference.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, I was
a lot of movers and shakers of the space.
Yeah, I would say so. Although I, showed my ignorance by not knowing of any of them before I got there.
That's kind of life, though. Like, I'm sorry, there's only so many people you can be aware of. We're all just people at the end of the day. So
yeah,
this face-to-face interaction is first, second, third time go around.
I learned a lot while I was there. I mean, there's a lot of people sharing what I would consider best practices that I personally have implemented and developed or seen other people talk about online. So like, I think the Marketing AI Institute, who puts on this conference, I thought, did a fantastic job. The speakers were very knowledgeable.
Best practices like ethics involved in the situation?
Yeah, there were lawyers discussing ethics, and there were a few other people talking about ethical concerns and approaches and how they were determining how they would use stuff based off of their own internal ethics and whatever. But it wasn't really even about that. It was more about practical use cases, or at least I was going to those tracks because I'm a practitioner. And
gotcha.
I want to literally learn how to use AI better so that I can be more useful for my clients.
Dr. Business got sent out on a journey, so to speak.
Yeah, Dr. Business.
Who sent you out?
Well, I guess I got to give another great recommendation this week to Sound Booth Theater. Hopefully they're cool with me shouting them out, but they're
free. We'll bleep it out if not. But yes, Anthony would love to have your endorsement on the Bad Bitches.
Well, it's actually Jeff Hayes, who's the founder of Sound Booth Theater. Very cool. He is an amazing voice actor, and he's also a musician, and he's also just like a very cool Renaissance man in general. And he had just like a windfall of success recently, and he's very appreciative of the work that Paul and I have done, my business partner, to put together good analytics infrastructure for his business.
Yeah.
I mean, we're working on marketing advertising too, and honestly, in the last week or so, we've started to see some of the momentum I want to see. Cool. But our bigger successes have been on the technical side of things, and he sent us out the conference because he's hoping that as he's redeveloping his app right now, that we can come to him with product ideas to extend the app and make it more fun and engaging for the users. I mean, they're already there for an amazing, immersive, they do cinematic audiobooks. So they take regular narrated audiobooks and then they remaster them with multiple voices and sound effects and blend the things so it feels more like a movie when you close your eyes.
Interesting. So really bringing the book to life. If you go back to our other videos on how I finally understand what people mean by the book is way better than the movie. The immersive experience, I think, is what it really is, and why the theater experience is so much different than like you being at home. It's just like, how can you pull out all of the different sensories? And that Sound Booth Theater does a great job of. Jeff's reading at the party that we were invited to early on was so very cool to watch because it was my first live reading of anything ever, and to hear him go into different characters as one human being, I could have literally had my back to him and would have felt that it was an entire cast.
Yeah, he was jumping between multiple voices. It was incredibly impressive for a live read. Oh my god!
It was very, very cool. You can see like how sound actors, but even still, most sound actors are doing one voice at the same time. It's like almost like Jeff Dunham, but in like
follow them on Facebook and Instagram because he does live reads every week, and you can like talk to him as he's doing live reads.
That's cool. I did not know that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a cool whole thing, and then they have a Discord channel as well. I obviously
part of the community and the experience of sound booth theater is what it sounds like.
Absolutely.
And, what's the genres? Because I will say that there's some genres that are.
I think it fits in very well with the guests that we'll be honoring today, or the Bad Bitch of History that
Who the fuck are we talking about today?
We're talking about Ada Lovelace, the mother of computation. That's
the first algorithm.
Computers.
Yep, exactly right.
Because basically she used looms and weaves or whatever, weaving things. But those patterns are the basis of like binary code in many ways, or just like, I don't know, or the eventually these things get turned into punch cards or something, and that's how they like. Anyways, I'm not knowledgeable enough about this. ChatGPT will help us. I'm like, it's been a long time. So, I learned about this woman back in 2020 when I was working at Google.
I don't know enough about her. You're telling me more than I knew about her. I didn't know it was looms and weaving, really, truthfully. Mm-hmm. It brings me to, didn't they used to write messaging in the blankets
I think the Native Americans did that, and then they communicated. I think that during the Civil War and like the Railroad and all kinds of stuff like that.
Slavery had
Underground Railroad, I think, did it too.
In there too, but it makes sense that like communities find ways of communicating with one another, and the basic utility needs of.
It's not always intended to even be cryptic. Sometimes it's just native, local, insular. Like you grew up here, so you know what it means. But like as an outsider coming in, you're like baffled. I didn't know that's what that sign meant.
Us as archaeologists exploring some like further land from thousands of years ago, coming across their like cryptic words and pictures and trying to like make sense of where they were at that time. When in all reality, it is probably just them doodling on the caves, and it's not really anything more than like, it's not like it could be sacred text, but like, is it though? It's like me just like coloring on the walls. It's just considered taboo now, so I put it on canvas.
Well,
what a derail.
potentially. Anyways, alternative histories aside.
I'm very excited to get into Ada Lovelace. We were reflecting on how many women have become so pivotal in how technology has progressed so quickly in our like last 100 years. Ada's a part of this in the same way that Valerie Thomas was. I mean, in the same way that the ENIAC women, or the ENIAC 6 that we will be covering here soon. There's just so many fucking bad bitches to thank for where we're at today.
Yeah.
Why we're able to be here.
I'm going to toss a new one over to you for the list. Yeah. Back when I was working at Google and, just discovered Ada Lovelace and heard about her for the first time, it was because I was working for a company called Ada Fruit indirectly.
Okay.
I was running their ad campaigns or helping them too. And they help basically sell open source hardware in the form of like child educational robotics projects, like build your own robot type stuff.
That's right.
And so Arduinos and Raspberry Pis, if you've heard of those, which are little mini computers that you can do a lot of things with. And so the founder of this, her name is Lemore Freed, and I'm sure I probably butchered her name, but maybe I didn't. But she's an American electrical engineer, and she's the founder of it. Oh, I wasn't even. Yeah, should I present the screen?
Show the world her beautiful face. Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to cover her.
And so she's the founder and CEO of the company, and
you heard it here, folks. There's bad bitches everywhere. Freed. Lemore Freed. That's a really cool name. Very, very cool. Well, I'm excited to explore her journey here in a bit.
Yeah, and so basically she showcases on her YouTube channel basically to everyone how to do these projects and build these things, and that's why she sells them.
That makes sense.
Open source hardware. She's a content creator.
Being the educator, being the creator is really just being that voice in the community as you continue to like, I don't know, add skills. But it's just crazy to see how you just like find little things that you get interested in, and then fucking here you are 30 years later painting about other bad bitches so that their stories are known.
Absolutely. And so, another bad bitch, my wife. I wanted to pull up your website mostly because we did add new sections, like adding this show to the website. And
now we are cross-contaminating between Playhouse TV and Madison Jessica.
Well, we were already doing that with this show, right?
Well, exactly. Now we can see both parties equally distributed on their platforms.
Exactly. Hopefully this helps drive more traffic to your website so we can sell some merch or NFTs or artwork. And it's obviously not just about selling stuff, but as a business manager, for me, it's hard not to look at it that way. But you're the artist. Do your thing.
Stories of the bad bitches that have paved our way out there because, okay, I will fucking say, maybe it's just hindsight, maybe it's my phone listening to us, but I've seen 3 different videos on Mileva where I'm like, oh, she went to college and her dad had to pay for her to get into college and she was like, there was woman issues, classic, right?
Yeah.
She scored better than Einstein on every single one of their exams. Except for one, which was an oral presentation, which was one-on-one with a man, and where 24 other men in the class all scored 11 out of 12, and she scored a 5 out of 12.
Was she
kind of hard to look at that, and that was the reason why she didn't get a degree. It was literally so fucking like lessons in chemistry. I was like, what the? How many fucking bad bitches got to that point and then literally had to get that MRS degree because they fucking didn't get that degree because of misogyny? That's nuts. Anyway, I got told
gatekeepers of bureaucracy, historically mediocre white men.
And I'm just so thankful to hear other people hearing these stories, whether it's reverberating in these 4 walls or if it's getting out through our phones. Hi, we might as well manipulate it in our own favor, you know?
Absolutely. I feel like this looks dusty for some reason.
We could all use a fresher perspective.
Looks better now.
Sure. We're just a little bit low now.
Oh.
I understand completely where you adjust the screen in your laptop, trying to adjust the camera.
Okay.
So much better.
All right.
All right. Ada
Lovelace.
How can I thank you more? Oh, and I gotta love the little lace patch. And shout out to Scraps KC for gifting us little patches of or little pieces of lace because your girl's on a budget, and I think life is too consumptionary. And so the fact that I was able to get an entire bag of like piece end lace for $5, dude, in this economic term, are you fucking joking? Okay, in this economic turmoil, let's be real. I literally saw a tweet of some guy, it's so girly. She was falling for the same conversation. Listen, I don't know where you fucking stand. Red or blue, not for you. Doesn't matter. It's all a fucking shit show, clown show anyway. But it's wild when somebody goes, the Clinton administration, the Bush administration, the Obama administration, and Biden administration was in power for 24 years and Trump was a part of that for 4, and then we're still bitching at Trump like he was responsible for it all of the issues that we've seen in the last like 30 years. And I'm like, again, we get back to that red or blue just doesn't seem like it's for you. Do I think JD Vance was a smart idea? Fuck no.
That was
the dumbest clown show I could have. You still don't know what you're fucking doing. Just because you have money and are able to have your authentic voice is why you have a population behind you versus whatever we have in this like shit show of politics wearing masks, depending on who pays them more. I think Robin Williams said it best. I want our politicians to wear sponsorships, much like NASCAR, to show me who really does pay for you. I think that seems like fair, equal, transparent information, like we are all expected of.
I think the blockchain would be better.
Sure, that works. I mean, like, whatever we can do in the 3D,
I don't think they'll like it if I
ultimately
tattoo it on their forehead or something.
branding it.
Yeah, I think we're violating human rights when you kind of go down
But here's
those
the thing. Look at
that's
Ultra. Look at all the. Okay, you're right. It's not a tit for tat. It is.
Someone's got to break the cycle, right? An eye for an eye makes the world go blind.
Think about how many of us have partook in this blindly because, don't look up. Fuck!
Well,
Ada Lovelace.
Ada Lovelace. It was a time when women were expected to embroider delicate linens, not delve into the mysteries of mathematics. Yet Ada Lovelace was anything but ordinary. Born Augusta Ada Byron in 1815, the daughter of the flamboyant poet Lord Byron.
Okay.
I forget. Is Lord Byron who did Frankenstein?
No, that's a woman who was 13 basically. But you should learn who that is because I don't know who that is. Frankie Shelley.
Oh yeah.
Shelley.
Yeah.
She was like literally 15 when she wrote it, or 13 when
she wrote it.
Yeah, she's like an incredible, she is another bad bitch. That's who I should talk about when I finally come with her name.
Add to the list.
Yeah, right. Everybody's screaming at me right now. I am not illiterate. I'm not literate. Let's be real.
So her dad was a poet, and he wrote Don Juan.
Okay. I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, that's why he wrote other stuff too, but that's the thing people might have heard of. But anyways, Ada Lovelace, who we're talking about, inherited her father's fiery imagination, but paired it with her mother's sharp intellect. And it was this unique combination that led her to a destiny like no other. A destiny involving the very first blueprint of what we now call a computer program. Ada was no stranger.
Could you imagine trying to explain that back in the day, though, to somebody like, "Hey, this is what I just did."
No.
Right, as a woman, you're just like, when was your next lobotomy scheduled? Like, come on, that's nuts.
Computers in the cloud have been around for like 40 years, and I'm trying to explain the blockchain to people, and it's just foreign, even though it's just a twist on something we've had for like years.
Right, and like, ultimately,
so no, I can't imagine being a woman and having to deal with this. Yeah, no.
Right, people in your industry still don't even understand what blockchain and Web3
are. Yeah, no, most of them are fraudsters.
It's like a database that's just, we call it a cloud, and like it's a cloud, it comes up over there. Whatever the fuck he said. If you know, you know. Fuck, I'm just like this. God bless. Continuing to pursue what you know is true.
Yep.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah, and she was privileged enough to be in a position to pursue her interests, and that's where a lot of the bad bitches of history have always come from.
Had to be in.
And but at the end of the day, thank goodness there were at least some of them. So.
And thank God we're talking about them now, because it's crazy they've existed for this long and we still don't know a fucking thing about them.
Yeah. Ada was no stranger to the extraordinary. Even as a young girl, she dreamed of flying.
All right, let me see if I can channel Ada. Mother, can you imagine it? To soar above the trees, faster than the wind, with wings made of silk, powered by engines of logic?
But her mother, determined to curb any poetic madness inherited from her father, pushed Ada towards the sciences. I don't know. I don't think that was not common for the time. And he was a lord.
Unless you had a better pocketbook, you're probably not going to leave at that point in time.
It was probably just a bitter, distant relationship.
Yeah, well, most parents that don't have good partners will put all of their energy into that one child or few children. One child, usually.
Well, it sounds like she pushed her towards the sciences, and Ada devoured everything. Mathematics, astronomy, chemistry. Her appetite for knowledge is boundless as her dreams. By the time she was a teenager, Ada was introduced to one of the most brilliant minds of the era, Charles Babbage, the father of the analytical engine, the forerunner of the modern computer.
My dyslexia wanted to say Barrel's Cabbage.
I want to say Charlie Babbitt.
There you go.
So, it was a meeting that would change both of their lives forever. Miss Lovelace, I present to you my invention, the analytical engine, a machine that, with the right instructions, could calculate anything, solve any mathematical problem.
It's more than a calculator, Mr. Babbage. I see something grander, a machine that I could follow any sequence of steps, and not just for numbers, but for music, art, language itself. This could change the world. It's a pattern recognition system.
Is she the mother of AI?
It seems like a lot of the baddies had a heavy hand in it.
Ada was the first to recognize that Babbitt's machine was more than just a mathematical tool. It was a universal machine capable of doing anything if given the right instructions. And
shit in and shit out. You still have to have good input.
And you need to have a framework for that good input. And someone has to design that.
You're so right.
And so she began. Well, yeah, no, she laid the foundation.
Yeah, she saw the potential.
And she laid the foundation.
LOL.
And so she began with what no one else had, writing the first computer algorithm for the analytical engine, an algorithm that would make it calculate Bernoulli numbers. But there were whispers, doubts from the men of the era, a woman writing advanced mathematics. Surely, Miss Lovelace, this work is beyond the delicate sensibilities of a woman.
Sorry, that was some critic, some dumb fuck who never did shit. Delicate sensibilities? I assure you, sir, my logic is as sharp as your man's, perhaps shorter.
Any man's, but
accurate. Yeah, either way.
Yeah, it was a diss, I hear you. Ada's determination was unshakable. She saw in the machine what others could not, the potential for AI.
No, literally, you call
for
it.
machines to think. Nuts. She envisioned a future where computers would compose music, create art.
On your AI conference, we have her to thank for that. God bless this.
Sure, absolutely.
Like, that's
what timing? I didn't I knew she invented like a computer program, but like I didn't know that her recognition in seeing what the potential could eventually become. God,
that is the Matrix level, like high, overview.
She probably
umbrella.
Sees the same spreadsheet that I do, even though like mine's like a Google sheet, hers is a Loom, but it's still just like grids.
And hers, she fucking created into what yours is.
I know, but like she had that like in the 1800s.
Is that really when this happened? No, yeah. I need to know when this actually happened. No fucking way is 1800s. I mean, sure it is.
Yeah, because her dad was born in 1788. Her dad died in 1824 at the age of 36.
Oh my God, that's nuts. Holy fucking shit. Look at that gorgeous baddie. Glowing. Gorgeous in not just the like superficial term, but like just so well-rounded and wanting to find and pursue more and to use that beautiful brain. Oh my God. Incredible.
I feel like I should have known this story even better, but like I'm so excited to be learning it now.
Learning more, yeah.
It's fun.
Shit. What a baddie. Grace in that fucking living room.
Ada's determination was unshakable. She saw in the machine what others could not, AI, for machines to think. She envisioned a future where computers would compose music, create art, and solve humanity's greatest challenges. It was as if she could see a century ahead into our very world today. Well, it's actually 2 centuries ahead.
Literally.
Which is way more impressive blowing my fucking mind right now. And then I have to say one other thing.
Yeah.
It comes on the heels of an even more timely thing, which is the fact that OpenAI just yesterday released their new O1 model. And why is they basically decided to reset the counter on, ChatGPT 4. It's going back to 1 now.
Good. The O model. Good shit.
No. This is a brand new thing, completely different than ever before.
Okay.
But they're saying it's so substantially new they have to reset the counter because there's no point in calling it ChatGPT 5.
Interesting.
And so
So what are they training that database off of?
It's the same database, but now they've trained it in a different kind of way.
Right.
In the way that
what is it tailored to? I know.
So they've taken the LLM and then they've created a new structure around this LLM using probably DAGs and some other like unsupervised, maybe somewhat supervised learning loops.
Okay.
But basically what they've done is gotten the chat GPT to list out the steps of what it thinks it needs to do to produce the outcome. And basically it's taking your critiques of the outcome and then just randomly doing new steps till it gets it correct to the right output. And it's starting to learn how to think by learning what these... it is learning the relationships between the steps in a mathematical kind of way, such that it can shortcut and get the right output and also articulate the right correct steps to do so.
It's becoming more efficient? Is that
no,
okay.
It's reasoning.
Interesting.
They're presenting reasoning.
Huh.
How
long before it becomes sentient? They
say 20. They say 2036, and no, it's definitely not. It's just a good parrot. It really is. You can get it to give you some.
Humans are just good parrots.
Yes.
So it's like most humans aren't better than computers?
Okay, well then, if you want to go down that route, if you ask it very unique, specific questions, it will, and you let it have a chain of memory, it will give you the impression of being alive and being real because of the level of authenticity you can feel in the writing, so to speak. It doesn't feel derivative of the works of the internet. It feels novel and like
I think that's what is so scary to a lot of people is the fact that you can have 10 people spit in and ask for a report off of Mary Shelley.
Yep.
Frankenstein. Thank you. And you'll probably get about 10 different variations sounding all similar because it's all based on the same book, but it's like if you have prior history and knowledge, your chat GPT knows your inflection writing to a certain degree, and it will probably give you some sort of voice, I have to imagine. Does it not? Is that what's so scary for teachers?
No, I'm sure some of that could be developed and is coming on the side, and some other people's models are for sure pursuing that. I think that's the whole digital twin category side of things that you're getting in on.
So often.
That is not necessarily what's going on with ChatGPT explicitly yet, but knowing how these big tech companies work underneath the hood, the fact that they're allied with Amazon, I wouldn't be surprised if they're just sucking in as much consumer data about us as possible and, pairing it to our psychographics on the back end. But, saying that would also get me in trouble. Obviously that's bullshit and they're not doing that or whatever. That's just me saying hey, they hypothetically could do that because, that's what you would do if you really wanted to have that level of clarity. So, anyway.
Oh, what a fucking rabbit hole.
Right? And she fucking saw it 200 years ago.
She did the fucking damn thing to be here 200 years later talking about her. That's nuts.
Yeah, 200 years ago is just insane to me. To just picture, because I'm not that imaginative, me personally.
It's hard to limiting your beliefs, sir. Are you not? You're currently blocked in your creative outlets, and I think that's where she was able to redirect her poetic mind into STEM. Maybe you have to do the reverse.
That is kind of what I was told today in a different way. So,
not to give you advice and therapy.
We are doing this, so this is part of that for me,
for sure.
Anyways,
all right,
thank
you. Bring us home. The engine could do anything, provided it is given the right instructions. Fuck. She knew what we were talking about before I even said it. It is not just a tool. It is the collaborator of the mind and one that will amplify human thought itself. It's that, though. That's exactly what AI is. It's an amplification of very good quality information if you know what you're talking about in the first place.
If
or know what you're looking to ask.
If you are a curious person and you've already this is your yes.
Dude,
and if you're not a curious,
made my life so much better, even from like my searching up like stuff for work. I'm just like, wow, ChatGPT actually does just pull it up, all of the things that I'm looking for based on the questions that I'm asking. That's so nice.
You should check out Perplexity AI. You're gonna like it more.
Yeah, there you go. There's another recommendations corner, which I have not been keeping up with. LOL.
Well, we're giving lots of recommendations. I haven't added to the website. We didn't show the NFTs because I'm frustrated with that at the moment. Something happened yesterday and broke it. And while I just got these new things added to the site, I was showing it off earlier. We've got the recipes page. This is not a Madison Jessica recipe, even though the title is correctly the title, Chocolate Chip Cookie Plus, because we do protein plus cookies over here in this household.
Hell yeah. If you're not getting your gains, then what the fuck are you doing in this place? Proteins are your amino acids, your building blocks.
But we're not saying that there's not sugar in it because they're cookies.
But yeah, in the same way
calling it out.
Right. In
we're not healthy.
Eating fruit is better for you than drinking the juice. You have to have the complexity of the sugar and the fat and the protein to be mixed together so that your insulin blood sugar doesn't
all about balance.
The fuck up. That's all about balance. Why.
Yes. Yes.
Eat your body's weight worth of protein and eat 1.5x that if you want to curb your appetite.
So if you want to watch these episodes, you just go to MadisonJessica.com.
Oh yeah, Playhaus or Madison Jessica, whatever.
Just go to MadisonJessica.com, watch it there. Support MJ. This is her show. That's what this is all about anyways.
I'm excited for the narrator with flourish.
But as brilliant as she was, Ada's life was tragically short. She died at the same age of her dad. That's weird.
Ooh, that's a weird... I'm like, ooh, what curse do they have on their family?
Yeah, that's really fucking weird.
She gave so much in so little time. That's like the scariest part about being good at what you do when you're young.
But as brilliant as she was, Ada's life was tragically cut short. By the age of 36, she had passed away, leaving behind only a handful of notes and seeds of a revolution. Yet her legacy, hidden for years, would resurface. Today, we call her the world's first computer programmer. I'm calling her the mother of AI.
Literally,
and plugging Mother Coin at this opportunity. The mother.
Fucking smother me.
Yeah, well, you're buying into the motherland.
I have bought in and have gained, so I'm hoping that Solana breaks through all of their my prior perceptions of it. You know, people can expand beyond their very limited scope.
Yeah, well, I mean, Mother knows how to sell, so I'll leave it there.
The only mother I will ever accept is fucking Stevie Nicks. Stevie Nicks' mother, and I've said Stanley Tucci for a very long time, but I have a special place in my heart for Stanley Tucci, but like, let's be real, I have to give it to a woman, and it's Stevie Nicks.
And I'm just
Cher, or Eartha Kitt. Honestly, there's so many fucking bad bitches.
And I'm just giving Iggy the respect for going out and being in the Web3 space and actually doing the damn thing.
Capitalizing on the endeavor. I support you.
Every other celebrity is rug pulled. She is literally still here. Actively doing it.
But I think there's a decent amount of them. I don't know where my Zach Morris I know where my Zach Morris coin is. I am begging desperately. Mario Lopez, jump into this fucking cesspool.
But not if you're gonna
bring those dimples over to the bad side.
You have to set up a Discord, a Telegram, get a bunch of people to run memes for you, and you have to have some idea for a business that your token can be used for. And that is what she will be announcing at Solana Breakpoint.
Oh, yeah?
Well, she'll probably be announcing it at Token 2049. She she just got invited to be a speaker at both of those conferences in the last 2 weeks. Yeah. So she's doing
a big name in the space. It makes sense.
She's doing a debate at Solana Breakpoint on whether or not meme coins are good for the ecosystem. Oh, okay. Right? And then at Token 2049, I think she's going to be presenting her Motherland project and explaining what's going on. And just to give her a little bit more credibility, She does have a failed startup from a few years ago, and this doesn't sound like credibility to outsiders, but as an entrepreneur,
the things that didn't go well the first time, and
all the things
different,
right? 100%. And the fact that you took the risk and you tried. We were talking about this earlier. It's progress, not perfection. You can't beat yourself up because it didn't turn out right. What did you learn? What did you take away? How do you do it better? She tried to start a phone company a few years ago. And we talk about what the most successful things on what Solana has been so far. And we look at Helium, the decentralized mobile phone network, which maybe if Motherland decides, it sounds like it's going to be an IP play and they're going to do a world building story video game thing. And I hope that they don't, but
meme coins just sound like a DAO or a community, basically.
That's what they are.
Into it. And I'm like, that doesn't
That's
sound
what they become.
Right.
Everything ends up as a DAO, a meme token, a real token, a fucking NFT community. Those are all just DAOs by like different methodologies. Yeah. They're decentralized, spontaneous organizations. They're DSOs.
Everybody else in the most people in the tech space even are just like, bleh, because it's such a specific. I
hate that term.
DSL.
I like headless brand better.
Sure, that makes more. I'm like, yes, in the world of jargon and hiding behind acronyms in every fucking field that we work in. That's why everyone feels so nutty when they're talking to people, because nobody knows what they're actually communicating. They just know the terminology they continue to hear and spew, unless you've got a fuller perspective. Oh my God.
Sound to me like I'm 5, right?
Totally.
And so, from the dreams of flight as a young girl to the code she envisioned in the 19th century, Ada Lovelace's story is a reminder that the future is often seen through the eyes of those who dare to imagine beyond the horizon.
Imagination is the key to the future, for it is through imagination that we unlock the impossible and bring it to life.
And that, dear listener, is the story of Ada Lovelace, the visionary who dreamed up the machines that power our world.
I want to know how her work got rediscovered as hers, because that's crazy. If it was hidden for a minute, it's like you, in the way that Lady Gaga always says, it just takes that one to believe in you after 99 no's. It's basically that, is most people don't have the capacity to meet you at the level that you're at in 80 to 90% of the conversations.
Yeah, well, we got
either that or they're not listening.
We got a continuation in the story format if you want to keep going with it.
Sure, bring it on.
We're going to answer your question here with my little bit of a leadingness on the question to
bring us home.
Yeah. It says the tale of Ada Lovelace's work is much a story of brilliance as it is of one of obscurity. For years, her contributions were lost in the shadows, hidden beneath layers of history, misattribution, and yes, misogyny. After Ada's untimely death in 1852, her pioneering work on Charles Babbage's analytical engine faded into obscurity. At the time, the machine itself had never been fully built. Without a functioning prototype, Ada's ideas about computer programming, an entirely novel concept, seemed far too ahead of their time, and there were deeper forces at play.
Perhaps if I had been a man, they would have built the machine to prove my ideas. Could you imagine how further along we would have been had somebody taken her idea of AI seriously? Because here we are 200 years later.
Yeah. She invented AI 200 years ago, and they had a machine that was about to be a computer in 1852. And we falsely attribute this basically to Alan Turing it's not falsely, because he added a whole ton of value and he deserves his credit.
Sure, I'm wondering where he got his notes from. Keep going. I'm sorry.
He had his own struggles.
Sure. We can add him in badasses of history, but ultimately he seems not
either way
to me. So anyway,
he's a code breaker.
Okay.
And he helped in World War II to stop like the Nazis from like sinking a whole bunch of allies.
Some bad bitches I've heard of doing that.
Alan Turing, yeah. So he is a gay man. I think he was openly gay, but that was a huge issue for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he died young-ish, and they were kind of dicks to him.
Very synergistic. I feel like similar lives. It's almost like they shared the same in different timelines.
Yeah, there's some of that going on. But anyways, he helped us, but he didn't get what he deserved, and she didn't get what she deserved either. And she is, the mother of AI from my perspective, because this is dope as fuck. And who knows, maybe people have this even before her, but she's the oldest person I've heard. Everything is rediscovering old. So, Ada's contributions were largely dismissed, forgotten even. Some of this was due to the fact that Babbage's machine remained theoretical, and without it, her algorithms and ideas were considered impractical at best. Yet there was another layer, society's view of women in science. The 19th century was a time when women were rarely allowed into the world of academic discourse, especially in fields like mathematics and engineering. Even the brightest of women were often seen as dabblers, hobbyists. Yeah, that sounds about right. Ada's work was published under her initials AAL to obscure her identity as a woman.
Literally.
Is there an Alcoin?
So,
we should pump an Alcoin. $sign AAL.
Not Ada.
Well, she published her stuff under her name, Ada Lovelace.
Okay, but it was just with her. Sorry, that's the full circle. I was looking at Miliva's age because it's literally, she was born in 1875, like the same time frame.
No, 50 years after her.
20. Wait, she was born in, I thought it was 52, but when was it?
1815, and then died in 1852.
Yeah, just a bunch of baddies with brilliant minds stuck behind just layers and bricks of misogyny. Thank you for breaking down what you have today. We're repressing currently, but we'll get there.
Regression.
I know.
Regression to the mean.
No, fuck that shit. I will not go quietly back into the 50s. Go fuck yourself. My body is my right and my decision. And anyone, shape, or form that thinks that they want to impose that on somebody else should fucking try it on themselves. I would happily castrate a good majority that have that same feeling and initiate it. Not even castrate. Let's just reverse. We'll just do vasectomies until you can prove that you have the IQ that warrants a reversal. They're not permanent. Seems like an adequate solution if you want to have conversation and like impose threats on somebody else's life. Anyway.
Personally, I don't like the idea of surgical intervention for, sexual protection.
I don't disagree, except for women are literally having to do it on the daily just because we get preyed upon, and then we're meant to deal with the ramifications because others don't know how to perform effectively in society.
Okay.
I appreciate the full, do you want to be the critic?
Sure. Unless, well, it's in between the narrators, so why don't you be the critic?
Sure. The work of a woman, surely this is embellishment of Babbage, I don't know what his fucking name is, own efforts. Sounds about right.
Her genius was overlooked, misattributed. Babbage was credited for the machine, and Ada's algorithms were seen as mere annotations. Misogyny played a significant role in her erasure from history. After all, it was easier for society to praise a man for these groundbreaking ideas than to acknowledge the brilliance of a woman. But history has a way of rediscovering its lost treasures. It wasn't until the 1950s and the 1960s, more than a century after Ada's death, that her notes were unearthed by scholars investigating the origins of modern computing. As computers began to emerge, historians reimagined Babbage's analytical engine and stumbled upon Ada's insightful writings.
Wait, who is this AAL? The one who understood not only the workings of the machine, but its potential for symbolic, non-numerical functions. Jesus Christ.
As the early computer age dawned, Ada Lovelace was rediscovered by a new generation of thinkers. In 1953, her notes were republished, and it became clear that she had foreseen many of the concepts driving modern computing. Algorithms, loops, even the potential for computers to create music and art.
So it sounds like we could have been here at least 100 years earlier is what this is coming to if this is how it came to fruition.
Yeah.
If only we had capitalized on her brilliant mind at that point. But as Ada whispers through history, the machine is capable of more than mere calculations. It is capable of creativity itself.
So she foresaw AGI.
Yeah.
Like
we're not even at her full breadth of conception at this point. Like she sees the sentience within its own creation.
What Sam Altman released this week is stage 5. Like we're at stage 2 with the release of 01 supposedly.
Whatever all of these fucking things mean.
Yeah, well, at a certain point,
things converge.
You are able to replicate not just the critical reasoning and thinking and the memory and the responsiveness, but even the emotional, interpersonal relationship aspects that then has the complexities that isn't necessarily mimicking life, but is it's its own version of it.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say recreating it, but it feels like the Sims version of it, and then I'm just like, oh my fucking god, we are just in a simulation. You see the video of the 3 kids playing outside, and it's one doing a half-ass TikTok dance, and the other just kind of literally walking in a circle, and you're
it's a toroid.
Are they NPCs, or do we just know how to play outside?
It's your.
Fucking took you a minute, but thanks for the acknowledgement.
It wasn't just her foresight that astonished modern readers, but her imagination and understanding of what computer could become. Decades before the actual computer was built, her work was revolutionary, and finally, Ada was recognized as the world's first computer programmer. Though misogyny had initially obscured her genius, the resurgence of interest in computing and the growing visibility of women instead helped Ada Lovelace take her rightful place in history. Today, her legacy stands as a beacon of intellectual curiosity, creativity, and the refusal to be limited by the constraints of her era.
It is only fitting that my work finds its way to the future, for it was the future that I envisioned all along.
And so the world came to remember Ada Lovelace not just as the daughter of a poet, but as the mother of modern computing, modern AI.
Yeah.
Misogyny had hidden
all of it.
Her brilliance, but the truth, as it often does, eventually prevailed.
That kind of feels like it's being a little hidden, to be fair.
Well, we're telling it now.
Absolutely. Bring it on the, floodgates. I can't wait for her name to be, plastered everywhere, because this woman is really, truly the mother. So, Iggy, now is your time to relinquish your title to the true baddie, but,
What about Ada Thuren?
I like that.
It flows.
Yeah. I like that. Cool.
Okay, well, that was the story of Ada Lovelace.
Oh my god, what a bad bitch. Holy shit. Thanks so much for gifting us so much. Hopefully we can gift you the same.
Yeah, and we'll try to not keep your idea on the shelf for another 200 years, because it sounds like a great one. I feel like I share a vision, but either way, this is really cool and just dumbfounding. And then separately, I'm like, okay, did they shelve the idea, or, because you hear all these conspiracies, about these things, and I'm like, didn't we have computing earlier? Maybe the analytical edge. Did they did they totally strip and steal our ideas 100%? Right, and do this and make some steampunky stuff at some point?
It could be any number of things that you're suggesting, and I completely agree with all of those rabbit holes. It could be any of that. But Occam's Razor, I'm like,
it probably just got shelved. It's misogyny and it got shelved. Sure. That when you say Occam's Razor, sorry.
But also, I want to say that it comes down to divine timing.
Sure.
And as a result of it getting shelved, it got shelved because misogyny couldn't see louder than the work that she was done. And divine timing had to come in to bring it into fruition 100 fucking years later, you dumb fucks. That's what we get back to, is learn from your fucking mistakes as history.
This is clearly not everyone. If you refuse to be open-minded, this is who we're talking about.
Right. If you refuse to recognize there are other people's perspectives that could be different from yours, or maybe challenge your current theme of beliefs, maybe just give her a second to figure out what she's trying to say.
No matter how accomplished you become, you can't afford to not be a beginner.
You can't afford to not listen, because there's always something that is we've seen what one side does, right? Like, as far one side, one note, like that simplicity,
centralization.
Well, going into having a centralized idea,
uniformity, you mean?
Sure, but
like centralized
creativity, literally, right?
Top-down dictated uniformity is centralization by another name.
The media tells you, so you just conform like the masses. I mean, like, we're kind of coming out of that era, which is great to hear, but it's like now we have to reformulate what our own sort of common sense looks like, and that's not easy, because I think that's been kicked out of a lot of it's been conditioned out of us.
I think
to not ask questions.
I think there's a lot of common sense that exists. I think we need common ground more than we need common sense.
I think
we need both.
It's for definitely sure need both, because you can't meet somebody at the energy levels that they can't meet you on.
Again, the people who have common sense problems are the people in the middle to upper middle class. The people with common ground problems are also there and in the lower classes. I don't think the lower classes necessarily have common sense problems. Oh, they have common sense problems also.
They're just too high on their own parts.
Well, they don't want to engage
in any sort of real in anything. They're just like, oh, I figured it out, as I have a trust system that lets me fall onto, and I can.
It's a banana, Michael. What could it cost? $20? Well, these days, yeah, actually, a little bit more accurate. Like and the thing is, the new response to that joke is, it's a banana, Michael. What could it cost? $1? And it's like, it's $7 now.
Right. And that's the sad reality, is when you've artificially priced out everything. You just don't know what it means to have that, like, beginning to end. Like, there's too many middlemen in the middle, and they're all just trying to take money away from the end source.
It gets back to the centralization and the uniform. It's this book that I'm reading, the Scene Like a State. It's describing how we ended up here 100%.
Yeah.
Because it's the idea of, kings wanting to have control and visibility into all of their tax income from the land.
Ew.
Yeah.
You're making so much money. You want to know how you make that money? That's literally micromanaging.
Yeah. They have to plan and forecast and do all of that.
PTSD, J&J vibes.
Right, but managerial.
My specific manager, I'm going to call him out directly on that one. Not overall, but, he's listening to higher ups and kind of making himself feel better.
Managerial sciences, which have their origins in the 1850s, really have their roots in a lot of these early 1600s. It actually goes all the way back to the Romans, as always. They probably before that to the Egyptians. You just keep going. But rulers trying to apply standard units of measurement to society to make it more.
Yard.
Yeah. Is that a yard?
Yeah, literally. This is how it was a yard. This is 3 feet.
Yeah, but my yard and your yard are definitely different.
Exactly. That was why we have standard measurements now. Long story short.
Well, I definitely want to pace out the yards for our property.
Yours. Oh, yeah. Pay for in my yard. No, your yards. In your yards.
We're gonna pace we're gonna pace out our property in our yards. The price in my yards. Yeah. And my price per yard's great. And
then, it's like, do I get a discount as a woman? I was like, no, I have to pay more. So, fucking the woman tax.
Yeah, right? Because you're going to get less for a yard than I am.
Right.
And we're going to pay the same price.
Yeah. No, I know. And I'm
70 cents to my dollars, they say.
Right. God, who's really losing? I know, the lesbians really fucking get screwed in that situation, and they're putting out 10x the work.
They're $1.30, we're $1.70. Gay men are $2. Oh, but there's better groups to be in. They have those thruples and polyamory. They're worth $10.
Communal living, you definitely living with roommates is literally communal living, and I mean,
yeah, some of them targeted hookup culture, which is a little interesting.
The Mother Mormon, whatever mom talk shit is going on.
Oh yeah, what is that? The Hulu thing that they keep talking about?
God.
I see it. Everyone references it. I haven't seen it.
It's been out for like 2 fucking
Why are they
days.
pushing it so hard? They just want to really discredit the Mormon religion and those people?
No, here's the thing is, like, these women are
influencers, right?
Only because here's what happens in rural America. It's basically, I can't say the same, but this is very similar to what, like, I feel like I grew up in, which is basically you're in very repressed culture where you're told your job is to find a husband, and that's your only value in life is to have a husband and make babies. And so most of you are fed this and singing these songs, and like this is all very conditioned into you by the time you have hormones hit as like a normal kid. There's one girl in there that was 16 when she got pregnant. Weird how it was with a 21-year-old, because not sure how that's legal. And the amount of girls in this position were like 18, 19, like the very young teenage mothers where you're like just trying to figure it out, probably having your first relationship. Let me see if those are like women with those same baby daddies. Very unlikely. Now they're swinging with each other. And I get back to, it's just when you're not told, you have to find internal self-comfort and finding yourself outside of centering a man for your own existence. You are constantly chasing, and that pick-me energy is like what prevails. And so that's why they continue to, I can get your man. It's like Sabrina Carpenter being like, I can have any man. And the Ariana Grande being like, I can take your man. I'm like,
Jolene, please don't steal my man.
Yeah, it's that. I'm like, if you're that low level that you can just fucking like have to pick up and smell anything and everything, I'm like, I don't fucking want, it's not worth my energy. Leave me the fuck alone. So it's like, ultimately, I think I was getting back to, we live in 2 different worlds. Like, women are described to find your like happily ever after as a princess, and we were talking about this. You've never seen any princess movies ever. I mean, growing up, like, you watched a few, but like not, it wasn't like beat into your head.
Yeah, no, because I didn't like watching them.
Because it's like, right. Like, what's good about this? Like, she's just laying there limp and you're supposed to kiss her? That seems silly.
Yeah. I don't think I even saw Sleeping Beauty, though, till I was, like, in not, like, my late 20s.
Yeah. That was literally what I grew up. That was what I was called by my grandma, because I was sleeping until 1. Love you so much.
Yeah, actually, I watched it for the first time with you. I had never seen it before watching it with you.
I was called Princess Aurora. Literally, I mean, I was her for Halloween. I went through the whole gambit. I love Jasmine, though. Jasmine was my favorite. But I think it was because she was the best of the pick-me bitches. And I was like, I will be her.
Well, we've got a few party announcements on this note as we wrap up our show today.
Yeah.
Well, one, I'm going to start with, what do you want to be, or who are you going to be for Halloween this year? Tell us. Give us a little plan preview.
Well, here's the thing. Halloween is kind of...
So you got multiple outfits. Yes.
Fucking great, right? Because
it's the best time of the year.
Is Thursday. Your week or your birthday is the Thursday before that. Mm-hmm. So we'll celebrate that independently, but we'll also be able to hang out over at Keystone. We'll be hopefully hosting a Halloween party with Horace.
Yeah.
And some of the other really KC
the Phoenix
crew.
Collective and the Balance Project, and I think Phantom Social is also one of the sponsors. Sounds about right.
Anthony might actually be participating.
Yeah, so
hopefully.
Yeah, so shout out to Flip Switch VR and to Link Studios.
Did not mean to conflate the two. It's just cool to see all of these KC community like projects
all coming together, getting big, and also again, if I need to censor anything like your names of your companies, let me know.
Reach out.
And then.
So that 007 Bond night, I mean, I never watched a Bond movie to save my life. I listened to the Adele fucking album though, that banged.
I love that album. It was great.
Just got it.
That was also a great movie, but okay.
Again, just never seen any of them, but I have seen every single Austin Powers. So power to the flower. We're excited to just see what other breath of
groovy baby
you basically come up with for this Halloween night while we enjoy playing a little roulette, maybe a little blackjack.
I think there's a charity fundraiser. You can win some money.
And show up in your best costume.
Absolutely.
Bring the crew.
Spy themed, from fun to serious.
Hell yeah. From 007 to Power the Flower, we just want to see you come out in your best.
And then, personally, we're going to celebrate, Dia
de los Muertos on Friday.
Yeah, because I just love to. It's my favorite. You love spooky season. I love spooky season.
That's when we got our tattoos.
Yeah.
My family will probably be coming down. My sisters and Tyler will probably be coming down by that point.
And then on Saturday night, we will be having our Halloween party, November 2nd.
Yeah.
Because perfect day for us. And
we got our swimmer.
Yes, and what are you gonna be for that one?
Oh fuck! What am I gonna be, or what are we gonna be?
I guess that's a better question.
Yes. I fucking can't wait! Oh my god, we're gonna be talking about this baddie here soon. Actually, we might even get to cover her right around that time frame. Maybe if that works out.
Talking about Disney movies that actually are good.
That are just fucking prime.
The Emperor's New Groove.
Hell yeah, Yzma and Kronk will be our
we will not be Cusco.
No, you do have Cusco vibes and a little bit of what's the big guy vibe?
Kronk?
No, but the other one.
Pacha?
Yeah.
Is this Pacha? I think it's Pacha.
Yeah, you very much have his energy and Cusco's energy like to a T. And then
pessimist entitlement, but then also I get it. I'm a fun, golden retriever sometimes, and that's the Kronk energy.
Totally. And so that's where I'm like, this is gonna be fun as fuck. I just want to dress up as Yzma.
As I was saying, I'm only half able.
Oh my god! Literally, Yzma, give me back. Take me back to the tubes where I'm singing "It's Fun," and the waves are going too fast. That Olivia's like, "What are you talking about, Yzma?"
So on that note, thank you for tuning in for another episode of Weekly Mojo. It has truly been something. Your host, Madison Jessica. Like, subscribe, follow for more.
Thanks
support.
For sending us home, El Pro.
Buy merch over on our website now, MadisonJessica.com.
So. Dr. Biz will keep you updated.
We have an email newsletter coming next month, so stay tuned.